Hello everyone, welcome to another exclusive episode here of the TCG Party Podcast. Today is actually going to be a solo day. That's right guys, for the first time this podcast episode is going solo. The reason is because, well, Gio's not answering my calls. But that's okay because of any situation. I wanted to go ahead and actually go with this. Now, I'm not doing solo most of the time because like I said, I need Gio's help. But there are reasons of why I'm trying to do this on my own because there's a lot that's been going on for this month or so. But I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm not going to take off as much as we need, and I do apologize that not many of the cards are going to have being explained to about what is happening. So I want you guys to bear with me of what's happening so far. But keep it in mind, so we're going to try our best, alright? Okay. So let's go ahead and get things started. Our first thing we're going to be straight up talking about is we got a huge message about an updated card game actually. Now, there's a card game that that someone's been trying to start a Kickstarter on. The creator's name is Matt Byrne, and Matt Byrne messaged me basically a couple of weeks ago as I'm coming home from work. I'm looking at it and I received a message from this gentleman. I'm thinking, what's going on? Why do I get this message from this guy? And then he messaged me not from my regular Facebook account, but actually the actual TCG Party Podcast Facebook. And, you know, I was very surprised because somebody actually wants to give them a shot because it's a card game. And it's great that he actually were asking us to post about it in their show. I do want to apologize to Matt Byrne. I'm sorry it took a little while. A lot of things were happening in this certain time of the week, so things were just going one thing and another. So I want everyone to understand about what Matt Byrne sent me. So he sent me a link here, and as I was discussing with him, it's a game called Coliseum TCG. Now, I'm going to leave a link in the description below to basically what this takes. It will send the link and it will explain to us. It has a TikTok, it has a tabletop simulator so you can try it out. There's the website you can always find. They even have a Discord. And they also have Instagram, a Facebook, and like I said, the Kickstarter. You can all check it out in the link tree, basically, and I'll leave that link to the link tree in the description below here on the video. Now, if you guys are listening to it, bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and take it step by step, and we're going to go and then follow up. So as you click the link, and even if you want to pause the video to click, and then we'll see how it is. I'll go ahead and take it out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to visit up the website. Now, just a little update of the website. I don't know if it has cookies, so just be very careful. Somehow when it told me it says cookies or anything, but I think that was with the link tree. But if nothing's wrong, then let's go to it. So here it is. As you can see, there's gonna be a lot of cards, and it has interesting pictures. It's diagram, and yes, as you see, it's a sci-fi game. So it's here, as I'll read it along. Coliseum TCG is a sci-fi cosmic card trading card game set in an intermediate time and a galaxy pretty close by. As a grid runner, you'll represent your team in a galactic gladiator competition. The competition takes place in a planet-sized arena, the Coliseum. Ran by the Demu, an ancient species of reality-bending beings from a previous universe, the fate of the competition rests in your hands. The Demu have chosen 5 teams to fight for their lives and their fates in the Coliseum. Use the very essence of reality to cast cosmic spell and summon grotesque entities from mystery realms. This is a competition you'll want to win. So it's a little interesting sci-fi game, and you can see some of the cards here. They basically go ahead and show you some of the pictures and the abilities. And there's like numbers on the bottom. There's like one that says like a 2 on the left, one that says 1. Some of them don't have it. They just have special symbols on it, like stars or little, like kind of like a little like comic. I don't know how to explain, like bubble, like one of those like little spike bubbles here. I apologize if I can't be very descriptive, but there's like different symbols and everything, like I say. Now, there's it explains what the game is, but there's more. You also hear the about, there's a card, infographic, the rules, spoilers, and the story itself. You guys can go ahead and click on that, but I'm going to click on the rules because I want people to understand maybe a little bit. So the rules has a lot to play, but I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm going to let you guys go through it, and if you do have any questions so far, you can contact Matt Byrne. If you find him on Facebook, you can go ahead and send him a message. Maybe you guys can check it out. Like I said, there's a Discord as well, so if you have questions, because you guys should go ahead and focus on that and talk to him or talk to any of his friends who are working on this, and then we'll see how it goes. But let me read you at least about the first 6, because we're going to go with that because the rest is the gameplay rules, so let's go. So the first thing is the deck. So 2 players are going to begin with a customized deck of 40 cards each, like YuGiOh. Players may have up to 4 copies of any name of Holocene TCG card in their deck unless a card affects states. You know, like kind of we're gonna go, you can only have this one type of card in your deck, kind of like Radiants are, what we do with Pokemon. Each player must have 1 Grid Runner, which remains outside the deck. Your Grid Runner does not count towards your deck count. So a little bit kind of like Commander. Like in Commander Magic, you have about 99 cards, but 1 card is going to be your main leader that's not going to be part of the deck. And then you have other cards that are like Commander, but they're not the main one. You're going to have your main, because like once you pick one of the Commanders, that card stays out there for the remainder of the game, and the rest are just going to be in your deck, unless you switch out while the Commander's dead. So a little bit something like that, which sounds interesting. Now, the arena. Each player should make a space to keep their deck in grave. A player's grave is where cards are placed after they're used or destroyed. Entity and power cards remain on the arena until they have been destroyed, unless a card effect state otherwise. Spells go into the grave after they have been played and their effect has resolved. Life points. Each player starts the game with 20 life points, just like Magic. Players may keep track of their life points during the game via any method, including dice, pen, and a paper or an app. The first turn, so both players will agree on who goes first by flipping a coin, rolls the dice, rock, paper, scissors, etc. The choice is that, and the best part is the choice is we can't make you, which is say about them, they can't force you. So it's however you guys want to do it. Obviously, we're gonna do dice rolls because why not? Your opening hands, you're gonna start the game by drawing 5 cards from the deck, thoroughly shuffling it. And then for hand maintenance, there isn't. You have 0 hand limits, so you can have as many cards as you want in your hand and then just go up. Now I'm just going to give you those rules, but the rest of the steps you will have to read upon because I don't want to drag this up through the podcast. But this sounds very interesting. I like the idea. The concept of the art as well is very incredible. Now they do have like they said, you have a Kickstarter here. So as I click here to the Kickstarter, there's a little video pack, and it's probably going to give you intro. So they're working real hard. Their main goal right now is the same right now. Currently, as I explained this during this recording, it's Friday the 8th, so you should know. They're about halfway through, over 6 grand, but their main goal is to reach 12,000 so they can get the game to get running, guys. And they sound interesting, and I do appreciate that Matt's working real hard to create a card game, because hey, I don't blame him. I will want to make a card game. I've always wanted to, but it's actually not that easy, because you have to come with ideas like what the card effects are, what the design is, how is it going to play, how is it going to resolve, and you hoping it's not going to copy another game, because sometimes that's the problem. But then again, some games are going to be like have the same similar rules. Like, to me, it doesn't matter like how you play the game, like life points or deck outs. I mean, that's fine. But to me, the problem is that I gotta come with the cards. How are you gonna play this card? How's it resolved? And how do you make it so simple and not confusing? So it takes time. And these guys worked real hard to make it, and it actually looks pretty cool and interesting. I mean, I never know how it's gonna work, but they do have right here, as you go see, they have a tabletop simulator, so you guys can check it out. But if you do, like I said, get more questions, contact Matt in the Holocene TCG Discord, which I would recommend more. But if you do want to add Matt, or he does have a Facebook, and you can add him as a friend. And if you want to message him for any questions or anything, let him know. That's okay with him. If not, I'm sorry, Matt. But at least it helps you. You're building friends, you're building a community, and do something nice. And then maybe we hope one day, if the game does well, and it gets popular, we get to see it more in other main card shops like what we have here in Miami, the Cool Stuff games or Pro Play games. You know, maybe Machado might do a favor to give you a try. Who knows? But yeah, Matt, wish you the best of luck. Guys, go ahead and support this. This is Matt Burns, Holocene TCG, and I hope he does a great job. So thank you, Matt, for messaging me, and the TCG Party Podcast gave you full support on anything. And if you have any comments, you want to send a message or anything, give us a heads up, and maybe we'll get a contact with him. Maybe we might have you in the show sometimes too. But we'll see. In the meantime, I wish you best of luck. Okay, so our next talk we're gonna have is there's a 19. Before it, I just got Gio on the call. Hold on. Hello, Gio. You're on the call on the podcast. What's up, man?
Hello. I mean, can you start recording? Because I want to do the episode with you.
You actually want to do the episode?
Yeah,
right.
but I can't do it today. I gotta do it tomorrow.
You gotta do it tomorrow. Are you sure about that?
Yes, very positive. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Gio.
Yes. I want to talk about it. I've been writing about what. Wait. You know what? Actually, do your part. Send it to me, and then I'll do my part.
You're gonna do your part. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, folks, it seems we have so we got a lot of work to do. All right. Well, fair enough, guys. All right. So I will go ahead and have Gio help with the recording, guys. So we'll be right back with the snap of my finger. Well, that was a nice recording I did there. It's not like we did 5 days later, huh, Mr. Giovanni?
You know, SpongeBob is a good meme, you know.
Why, yes. Yes, it is. But anyway, I was going to go ahead and get to the Pokemon stuff, but hey, Gio, it's nice to finally have you here on the call. How you been?
I've been alright, Kevin. How are you doing this week?
Well...
Okay.
Well, no.
Okay.
I mean, it was my birthday this week.
Oh, that's always good. Happy birthday, you know.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I had a great time with my birthday and everything, guys. I had a really good time seeing a few of my friends. I'm glad to go hang out with them. You know, most of them.
Yeah. You know, it'd be cool if you posted those same pictures on our TCG Party podcast, so, you know, people could just see it. Yeah. So not everybody has you added, you know? You could see what you're talking about.
Well, that's just sad. You people I leave my little precious Facebook page for all of you people to like, because I know you guys want to check us out, be updated, and that actually hurts me. I have 30 followers who care. 30 prestige followers.
Hey, man, we're growing, you know? And that's all that matters.
Maybe for my birthday I'll get 31. Then who's laughing?
Hey, one more. But anyway, let's proceed with the topics this week.
All right, so let's go ahead and get to the topics. We do have a big one coming up later on we're going to talk about. But I do want to go ahead and have some information from Pokemon. It's not like I got later information, if you know what I mean. But I got some good information. So first things first, let's go ahead and give a huge congratulations to the Pokemon Company, as they have now became 5th place of the top 10 global brand licensing companies. Last year they were on 8th place. Now they've reached it for 5th with a total of $5.4 billion.
Lots of money, but you know, like you see you see their branding and merch everywhere. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Well, the merch has been out. It's been over 25 years to this company. The games are selling out. The cards are the biggest thing everywhere. Pokemon has been really working real hard, and they've been one of the most extraordinary companies that have been busting their asses of, you know, trying to get every viewership from everyone, from every child at a young age to even every adult out there who still wants to be the very best like no one ever was. They still believe in that dream over 20 years and it still goes on. So it's really fun to see how far we've been. going through a lot in the Pokemon world. Speaking of which, of the TCG, I just also heard they're not doing a casting. Have you heard about this?
No.
No? Okay. No. All right. So I have here information about a casting. So let me go ahead and show you right now about this Pokemon casting. So it says here that the Pokemon Company International is currently searching for energetic personnel mold candidates of all ages and their families for an exciting new opportunity. Whether you are trying to learn the Pokemon TCG or to connect with your loved ones, hone your TCG skills to get to the next level, or even already a competitive player, we would like to hear now how the Pokemon TCG expert can help you. They're currently casting in the greater Los Angeles and surrounding area. Good luck with all the gas prices there, by the way. So they also have the link here, and as I'll leave the link in the description below. It says here all the information once this tab opens. So once you click the tab, it actually will ask you to enter your date of birth. So they verify your age. I don't know if they have an age restriction since... What's the age for this game for you to play? Usually it says like, what, 10, 6 years old? Because I know YuGiOh was 6 years old. So.
I mean, yeah, somewhere around there, yeah. They have like little juniors divisions and stuff like that. Okay,
so once you actually just put in your date of birth, it's going to go ahead and tell you some official casting pages for show focuses on the game. The applicant search, they have a lot of these. They're just going to ask you like a few, I won't say a few questions. I think they're going to, oh, Jesus. I'm scrolling down here. They're going to ask you about 63 questions for a casting call. Yeah, that's the sound I want to hear because that's literally how much. And then it says here, once you submit the application, you agree to get front foot first the right to contact you. So they'll go ahead and have information. They have the register use to share all materials submitted, including this application, photographs, and uploaded materials to cast, develop, and produce a project. So once you're signed, you're screwed. But yeah, so all these questions, you fill this out. Once you do it, they'll give you a casting call, and then they'll see how it works. If you do live in the Los Angeles area, it'd be easier to just drive around and then just get there. If you live somewhere else, well, save all your money for gas. That's what I'm pretty much saying. But yeah, go ahead and check it out. I will promise to leave the link in the description if you guys are interested. Just in case for those who don't know, I think they're still going on. This is posted around the 11th. So yeah, that's pretty incredible. Now, one last thing for the Pokemons. I do have some information. How long have we been talking about the scalping issue?
A while. And we've been talking about it in general, yeah.
Like, how long in a while have we talked about this?
Let's see. I'm gonna go to your YouTube channel and see the video for the scalper. How many months ago was that? Episode 3 of this podcast.
Episode 3.
Yeah. Here we go. Hey man, it was a good episode, you know?
Yes. Was that the one that had Noelle in it?
You know, I'm not sure.
Exactly. Anyway.
You know, I'm not sure.
Alright, so here's some information about here.
Okay. It was a year ago.
Exactly. But the scalping problem was over 2 years ago.
Yeah, our first episode was a year. Oh, damn. Our first episode's over 100 views now, which is awesome.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you to those 100 views who actually care for us. Thank you. Keep watching. So here's some information. It's the Great Pokemon Card Shares has now finally found a solution. Do you want to know what their solution is?
Reprint the heck out of their sets.
About 9 billion new cards.
Fantastic.
So here's some information here. It's a long read, but I would like to let people understand this to understand what's going on. So it's been near impossible to get Pokemon cards over the past few years. Right around the Pokemon franchises of their 25th anniversary, Pokemon cards saw a major resurgence in popularity. Whether fueled by the pandemic, boredom, or dreams of getting rich off your Charizard cards, Pokemon cards, both new and old, were selling out as soon as they hit the store shelves. People hoarded the McDonald's Happy Meals for special cards, like yours truly here. Retail stores like Target took cards off their shelves, like yours truly here, opting to sell goods online only, reportedly because frenzied shoppers created safety concerns in stores. Not yours truly here. People flooded card grading service with so many cards from collectors hoping to strike it rich that they had to pause new submissions to work through the backlog, like the PSA. Last year, the Pokemon Company acknowledged the Pokemon card shortage and announced it was ramping up production to address the high demand. As they quote, "We're aware that some fans are experiencing difficulties purchasing certain Pokemon trading card game products due to very high demand." The company said in a tweet, "In response, we are reprinting impacted products at maximum capacity to ensure more fans can enjoy the Pokemon TCG." That's the unquote. The Pokemon Company wasn't really kidding. According to the data released by the Pokemon Company, it produced more than 9 billion cards in the past year alone. That's more than double the rate of the year prior, when the Pokemon Company made about 3.7 billion cards. It normally makes between 1 to 2 billion cards a year. Pokemon expert and Cerubi webmaster Joe Merrick told Polygon, to date more than 43.2 billion cards have been produced since the Pokemon trading card game launched. That's over 20 years. 25, sorry. So about 26 years, if you want to, since we're on the 26th year here in 2022, for the cards. But I believe the card game itself, when did it get released in Japan?
I say like 96, 97.
But 96 is when that's when the game came out.
And maybe closer to like 98, 99, 2000.
It has to be like in the late 90s somewhere.
Yeah, probably closer to 99, 2000.
Okay. Alright, well, it says here that more than a quarter of all Pokemon cards printed were produced from 2020 to 2022. There was really never a lapse in the production of Pokemon cards. The Pokemon Company simply couldn't keep up with such a huge demand. Quote, "It's definitely a big deal and shows a reaction to the situation that happened back towards the end of 2020. In terms of general consumer getting cards," Merrick said, "Pokemon hit the mainstream again and people were buying up all stock, not necessarily for the right reasons, and it was near impossible for people to get any of the new products. It was a nightmare for the general consumer." Charlie Hurlurker, a Pokemon expert and senior consultant for Grading Company, told Polygon that the Pokemon Company is likely overproducing Pokemon cards now, flooding the market with its collectibles to bring prices down and keep every shelf stocked. The strategy appears to be working, with most stores have products on the shelves and prices on the first and secondary markets are down. Hurlurker said booster boxes during the peak Pokemon craze over the past few years were selling at online retailers for more than 20% of the MSRP, which seemed like a major hike because booster sets, he said, used to sell for much cheaper. Now, with an influx of cards and sets on the market, prices are back down to normal. Hurlurker said, with retailers really just breaking even on card sales. The second indicator of the Pokemon Company's overproduction is the bulk card market, Hurlurker said. There's an entire secondary market that's based around what any Pokemon card is worth, he explained. Pokemon cards peaked in 2021 at 6 cents a card. Any card was worth 6 cents just because there was so much demand. Now that the price has catered, it's like 1 cent and the two biggest bulk buyers aren't even purchasing. Hurlurker added the overprinting is working. 6 cents per card might not sound like a huge number, and it's not, especially when you're comparing it to hundreds of thousands of dollars that made Pokemon cards big news. But those cards that are worth a ton, though the prices have dropped, are still rare and worth a ton. But most Pokemon cards aren't those rare cards. They're common or energy cards, and there are a lot of them. Hurlurker even said that for the demand to be up so high that bulk cards were going for 6 cents a piece is a big deal. The Pokemon card bubble hasn't even burst, but the franchise is reverting to normal levels of hype now. New packs, like the upcoming Pokemon Go expansion with the peel-off trolley Diddle card, is likely enter the cycle in high demand. Check out my next video right there, guys. But it's not long before packs are back. So maybe there aren't always Pokemon cards in Target shelves, but it's no longer impossible to get them. And of course, like, I think honestly, Geo, like, I mean, yeah, you can still get Pokemon cards in like comic book shops, card shops. There's still
GameStop,
GameStop is now they're getting a lot more inventory, which is good. Target is
Walmart, Target.
Walmart and Target are like the hardest ones because a lot of people go to them. They usually keep them more in the front than they do in the back. I just went to Target the other day,
Uh,
and
mhm.
they do have a lot more stuff for the front now, which is great. But when you go to the back, there's barely anything.
Yeah, I've seen some Walgreens carry Pokemon. Ironically, you know, I don't. You know what I don't see anymore? You remember when Dollar Tree had those dollar packs of Pokemon? I don't see those in the wild anymore.
No, no. Every time I go to a Dollar Tree, I just go to the card section to find it. They're not there anymore. They're not even gonna get it anymore because they know it's gonna be sold like crazy.
What was I gonna say? All I see is like the Fortnite calendar or stuff by Panini. That's the only thing. And even that I barely see.
Or get.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I think it's a good thing that I mean, bulk like Pokemon was the best bulk you could sell. That article is 1,000% right because most stores would give you a lot of money for bulk of Pokemon, and you know you can still make a decent amount of money off of it. It's you know even if they buy it at 1 cent, they'll still give you because it's just always in demand. Unlike the other games.
Nah, yeah, because okay, so I went to GameStop last week as I did. I was getting ready for that recording. So I go there. Guess what's in the clearance section? It's Magic cards from older. So you can tell like they have the newer Magic sets, but they're selling their older ones, and it's like that's a hit low for them because they are not being the top tier card game as they thought. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care if they're gonna say Magic is still #1 because that's what they're gonna keep saying. In regards to everything, Pokemon has to be the '1 card game being sold out with every profit being sold in stores.
I think in the new latest numbers, I think Pokemon was one. Let me go check because they had print the fall sales.
It has to, but it has to be. But you think about it, after 2 years of all the cards being sold out, it dawns on me like, why is Magic still being sold? Because that's impossible. Like, yeah, you could have a ton of Magic tournaments. But even if you have 3 of them in one day and 1 Pokemon tournament in 1 week, that still doesn't mean for the fact Magic is still going to be the #1 card game being sold out. It's Pokemon. Pokemon's been selling out. And of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Later on has to have sellouts, especially with what's going to happen that we're going to explain there in the episode. But, you know, it still dawns me, because even I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Did a lot better sales when we used to play them back then. I know Magic had its moments, but there were players I used to talk to, and they told me stories how even the creators had to quit and come back like a few times, like Butch Harper for Fairly Odd Parents, because you know their ideas were like it was like just running out of steam. They didn't know what to do. The game was a little blah, you know. And I know Magic is not a bad game, but if you do something worse that could affect the creativity or the nostalgia of what the game is, it can not only affect your ideas of your own creation, but can also affect the player base around, because there are players who have quit during the Magic scene because they didn't like it. They took breaks, that's fine, but if they quit, that's worse, because they're not going to spend their money. They're just going to sell their cards. They're going to get it for like about a few $100, depending on how high rarity those cards are, depending on if it's meta or whatever. And they're just either going to try a different card game, or they're just not going to play at all. And most people have usually just quit card games for life, you know, so they start preparing to grow up, they maybe spend money on video games, or they spend money around the house or a car. But, you know, like for us, we are usually just stuck on one game to another game.
I mean, you know, people, they don't want to spend like globs of money, an exorbitant amount of money, you know, and that's why people play Pokemon. They play the Mon games because the Mon games are very cheap. You know, like you could get the product now for Digimon and for Pokemon, and they're family friendly. You know, there's kids playing it, there's casuals playing it. You know, like some of the other games have problems because, like, you know, they're more for adults, or you know, it's only competitive. You know, so there's pros and cons to every card game. You know.
So while you're waiting for that list, let's give a huge shout out to DW Gaming. That's right, guys, DW Gaming. if any of you are having a hard time finding any card that you can afford for your top 10 games, you know, whatever, if you guys can try to find anything that you need for your little meta decks, for anything that you couldn't find, and you couldn't find them at a reasonable price as well, look no further than DW Gaming on the TCG player. Whenever he's online, he'll have to post only of these cards that you guys are searching. The man works really, really, really hard. And he actually puts a lot of effort on making sure that all his shippings are there. And he'll send you messages stating that the card is already not being shipped. It will status on when it will be sent. He'll give you fair pricing. He'll give you nice percentages too. Gentleman is a nice and hard-working man. It's one guy doing all the work of 1,000 trolls. And this guy here is no troll, because unlike some card shops that you might have a hard time working with, that you try to order and they be unreasonable, DW Gaming is not a guy who works in a card shop. He's a gentleman who works hard and gives you anything you're looking for. So remember, guys, the DW Gaming on TCG Player will give you the most reasonable prices, because he is most definitely all elite.
You know, Adam Cole, baby, like his ringtone says. But anyway,
well,
so,
I mean, I don't know if it's all about the boom, but while I was blabbing support for our good friend Mr. DW, have you finally found the list?
Yes, and I'll quickly go 10 through 1. Are you ready?
Oh, well, okay, well, I guess so. All right, number 10.
Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, really? That's some
Well,
That's not
I mean, well, you know, it's been 5 years, and at least they're still number 10, number 9. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll do it anyway. Because, you know, we both don't know what this game is. Pathfinder Battles.
Wait, is that the one we see in when we go to tcgplayer.com? It's one of those games that's just random and it's some...
I think that's what it is. Not exactly sure.
Like one of those weird creature... I don't know. There's always like a lot of animal-based games, more than humans anyway.
I figured I would see Warhammer on TCG Player if they just have these random things. Never do, but anyway.
Okay, number 8.
Digital Monsters, Digimon.
Wow, number 8? That's not good.
Yeah. It's a growing game, you know. So I mean it's only been around for like what, a year and a half, 2 years. It's higher than Dragon Ball.
But wasn't it like one of the games that actually was reaching around the top 5 for most sales?
No, it's been a couple of times where it's been there, yeah. You know, but they've had some shipping delays within the past couple of sets that they've corrected, so, you know, that's fine.
Okay. So it's all Bandai's fault
then. We love you, Bandai.
Most of us do. And then there's no one.
Well. Number 7. Card Fight Vanguard.
Vanguard?
You know, to be honest with you, I didn't even know this game was still existing. You know.
To be honest with you, I went back to my own job at Bed Bath & Beyond the other day, saw one of my coworkers, and he loves the overdress.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a good game.
Is it really? Or is the enemy just saying the enemy is just a pile of shit that prevented to make it show that it looks like a great game?
Well, the anime I can't talk about. The game I played, I like that the right deck corrects some of the core issues of the old Vanguard games. But you know, at the end of the day, it's still Vanguard. You still have triggers and RNG and all that.
Okay. Number 6.
Waifus. Why shorts?
Needs more waifus. What's actually the next set that we're going for White Shorts?
I don't know. I saw those before I left for here in Naples. I saw some starter decks that had just come out, and before they even went up, they were all sold out. I'm like, dude, how?
Wait, have they finally did a high school DxD one?
I heard rumors of that. Not sure. I heard rumors from that. Exactly sure.
Will this be the uncensored version, or are we just gonna get blinding lights?
Oh no.
Hey, we gotta get them out of the top 10. You gotta put them in the top 5 for main reasons, guys. Come on, get your hands in the game.
Number 5, Flesh and Blood.
A game that's just so weird that I never heard of it much, but at the same time you may not hear it for a while because you once said about, I think in the last episode, that there might be going out of business.
Well, I mean, it's just a competitive game, and it was very big, and now I hear it's slowing down a bit, and you know, it happens.
All right.
Number 4, D&D Icons of the Realm. But I just want to know, is this the book? Is this like a book? It's like, I've never seen a TCG, you get me?
Yeah, the only time you only saw when it was a card game was a specialty with Magic, but that still did not sell for their profits. But maybe half of it, yeah. Cause, I mean, a lot of people do love Dungeons. I mean, Magic got the idea from Dungeons and Dragons, but.
Oh yeah, because the creators I heard were big D&D guys. So after they wanted to take a break from their session, they would play Magic. You know, at least that's what I've heard.
I mean, you gotta get your mythological creatures on the board already, man. You gotta get your little imagination out there. All right.
So then we're left with the big 3, right?
Number 3.
Well, the Pharaoh himself, YuGiOh.
YuGiOh.
Number 2, Commander the Gathering, or Magic the Gathering. So, you know.
Magic. Wow.
And number 1, your favorite TCG right now, Pokemon.
Yay! Well, of course, it's got to be Pokemon. I mean, for God's sake, I've read an article that they sold over 4 billion cards. They can't even be number 1 for that. I have no idea what's going on these days. So Magic is probably just some rare cards in the judge's pockets. Like, yeah, I got you.
I mean, it's be interesting if card shops like don't depend on Magic so much anymore, and like they go to Pokemon, YuGiOh, give maybe Digimon a shot, My Hero, maybe some people like Dragon Ball.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, but that's the problem. They focus too much on Magic. Like, if you do Magic instead of like Cool Stuff, for example, they do it 3 times a week. Or that's actually both of them. Yeah. Yeah, they do it 3 times a week. How about you minimize it to 2? You do 2 YuGiOhs. You could do possibly once in a while, you can rotate a week. Like once a week it's Pokemon, 2 times a week it's a Pokemon until we do a special event. You can do it a couple more times. You do 1 Digimon, you do 1 Dragon Ball, 1 Vanguard, and then one of the whatever crap that's left. But
My Hero.
Something. Yeah, that's another thing. My Hero. How come it never made it on the top 10 list?
Well, I'm not exactly sure on this one, but I'm sure on the next one we'll probably see it. They've had 2 sets. They might have had distributing issues because like the unlimited run came so much after the first edition boxes for the first set in that game. So I'm sure we'll see them up there.
Jesus,
there's some shops that are just like, oh, Jasco, hard to work with, and some of those things that we heard about Bandai when we were starting Dragon Ball Super. But it's like these card shops just do Magic, but like the main format for Magic's Commander, because like Modern, Legacy, and Vintage are all super expensive to play if you haven't been playing that game. So
all right. But we'll see.
But I got a question for you, Kevin.
What's up? All right, what's up?
So, talking about all these shipping issues and all this and that, right? Normally, TCGs would have 3 months, unless they've been delayed and all this and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that, like, for example, Digimon, I'll use them as that game as an example. They had delays for BT5 going into 6, and then we got EX2 on time. Then 7 was a little bit of a delay. 8 was kind of delayed, but EX2 on time, BT9 on time. But they're giving us short windows. Like, I mean, mini sets, I think a month and a couple of weeks is fine, right? But do you think that if you've delayed a set, do you think you should keep delaying your sets, or should you do the next one on time? Because I see people just like, oh, I just finished spending money on this. Now I got to spend more money on this. Blah blah blah. Like, what side of the fence you on, buddy? And this is just not for Digimon. It could be any of the games.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So in
Yeah.
that question, in that form of the question, I'm believing the fact that basically, if the product is supposed to be released, it needs to come out as soon as possible, because you're building up the set that's been out already. Because some card games, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and they have to get their sets comes before in Japan. With Yu-Gi-Oh, some of them don't even get all the cards. They have to wait like later on, which is like later in the TCG. But in Pokemon, if you already have their sets in Japan, you've already know what it is, and the update when it's coming out, they have to be on the time. They know for the fact. Like card games like Pokemon, who have to go through that scalping issue, for example, they have to make sure they get all their products at least in time, and they know the newest set comes out. But in some different cases, besides scalpings and certain cards that come from like OCGs and whatever, if the set you knew that's coming out and you're gonna put your money on it, or you've already made your pre-orders and it's supposed to be released and it takes too long, that is gonna be a major issue for the community, because you have to understand these people pay their good hard-earned cash to get all these products out so they can start preparing for the next meta or archetype or anything. And by the time they do come out within a month, you also have either a cup like 2 to 3 months for the next set to come out, and they still haven't done their play testing. Deck profiles are already been released. There's videos of opening packages everywhere. It's already a mess, and people are just begging and dying to get their cards out. And by the time they do, they have to wait for, like you said, for the next set to come out. Even when it's a special promotion set, like if they come out on time, I mean that's fine. They're just special promotion. It's not the big deal. But sometimes they have like certain tech cards that could be resourceful, but it's the main attraction, of course, like the canon sets that actually you need to get, because if you don't get them, like I say, if you don't get them in time as soon as possible, not only it's going to affect the community, but it's also could be damaging also their profits, like for both the companies who produce them as well as the stores and the card shops that order them, and they also have to put certain money and time to get them, and they need to get it as soon as possible because you have to distribute them. You gotta basically set them up on your walls and everything, and you gotta get all these people to pay a lot of cash. It's gonna hurt your business. It's gonna hurt their companies. It's gonna take effect. It's gonna be negative about it. And if this still keeps going on, then that's gonna be an issue. Like if you do it like maybe once in a while, I mean, it's not the end of the world, okay? Because it's okay. I mean, you don't cry over spilled milk. But if this is basically being repetitive over and over, then you have a problem, and you shouldn't really be moving the date. Like, shouldn't have the dates moved to a different time unless it's updated for certain reasons. Like, in case of emergencies, like for example, if we have another pandemic issue, and they were supposed to come in this time, but because of the pandemic, you can't have your UPS drivers, FedEx drivers to come in, bring your shipments in, and then they're gonna place them because they gotta worry about their own safety because of issues. And you can't blame the companies. It's just this stuff comes out of nowhere. This happens a lot. But other than that, emergency issues, if, like I said, if it gets repetitive, it's gonna be hazardous for the card games and for the communities and everything.
That's a fair point. I was just curious what you think of those. Just seeing people on Facebook. I think people like to complain for everything. Oh, I didn't get the set on time. It's late. Okay, I'm enjoying it. Oh, they're releasing it. I don't think you could ever have it right with certain people and things like that. And sometimes certain people feel like they have to have everything in the set, which isn't realistic. So, I mean, I can understand.
I think that happened to me around what was it? Oh, remember the hero structure decks that came out? That's
Yes.
It was when the beginning of Mass Heroes comes out.
Mm-hmm.
We were at the game shop. We were all waiting for it, and I was waiting there. My mom had to wait for me. I was gonna go pick up one box for my friend Jordan because he asked me to go get him. He was gonna pay me the money back anyway. So I had my money with me. I went to go and get it, and I had to wait and wait and wait. Well, I got there just in time, but everyone else, there was like impatient players just wondering where the fuck they were doing their trades and their card games, but they wanted to get their structure decks out already because they wanted to still build it. And then when the guy came, it was like, hey! This happened a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh too, because it was even happening on sneak peeks as well, because even sneak peeks was like the worst, because you want to get the product as possible. Even the guys are wondering, and like the owners, like Chris, he had to wait, and he realizes that his customers are being impatient. Sometimes people are like, ah, fuck this, I'm out. It was like, what bad timing. And it also, and like, when I finally got it, I was the first one to buy all 4 boxes, so haha, I was the winner. But also, like, I hate it also. So we have the sneak peek. We were gonna do it. This was Shadow Specters. This was during Egg Seeds. I had to go to a birthday party for my little second cousin, I'm just saying, and we had to go all the way to Homestead. I was there for a couple hours because I was hoping to get it. I was gonna make sure to get my Shadow Specters pre-order. I mean, my sneak peek. But guess what fucking happened? Magic tournament was still going on from a day before. I guess.
Fantastic.
They fucking continued in the morning, and while they were doing their little tournament, they did not do the sneak peek until after the tournament was over. By the time the tournament was finally over, they were gonna do the sneak peek, and I had to go. And the worst part was, like a fucking moron I am, instead of keeping my money, I had this guy. I don't think it was Shahid. You know Shahid, right? I don't think it was Shahid. I think it's some guy who reminds me of Shahid. I don't know. Dude, I feel like a fucking moron. I gave him my $20 I was gonna use for the pre-order, so he bought one for himself. Like a fucking retard I am. I do apologize for the term, but you do understand. I'm a moron. I'm a fucking moron. And God, I was so annoyed. And also, I blame Chris for this, because this was his fault too. And I know I'm stupid for the $20, but if I had anything, it's just Chris' fault. If you're doing your tournament, fine. Be as it may, you can do your little tournament. But if you have a sneak peek ready, you need to do that immediately. If you can't focus on that, have one of your other employers to focus, like Plu does, because Plu works with the Yu-Gi-Oh judging. Okay? You have him do the sneak peek, you do the sneak peek thing out, and that's it. It's not that fucking hard. No. We have to do Magic because it's the main fucking focus. Who cares? You don't fucking do that. You don't do if you're gonna do the tournament, I don't care, but you don't hold the sneak peek because of a stupid Magic tournament. If I gotta do a big major tournament, but your sneak peek's happening, you gotta get it immediately. There's impatient players out there who's been waiting for this set to come out so they can make their trades, build their decks, and just have fun. I barely bought Shadow Specters. I barely got a chance to buy them. I didn't even get anything for them. I was so upset about it. And I had to go to that party, and it was whatever. I mean, it's a birthday party, but I don't know. To me, who cares? It's one birthday. Yeah, nothing bad against the kid. It's just if I'm gonna go, at least let me go get my cards. I just hate the timing of this was so bad, and I was supposed to, and I have to go. So I don't have a choice, you know. So it's worse. I think it's worse when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think it's, like I said, it's worse when it comes to the stores. But anyway, let's get on to the next track. How's Bandai doing, by the way? How's our good friend, Mr. Bandai, doing?
You know, it's alright in the Bandai world, you know. Digimon's pre-release for BT9 is next week, so it's very, very fun times as they released EX2 about 2.5-3 weeks ago. So, very good time in that sphere. For Dragon Ball, you know, not really much going on there.
There never is.
You know, they just released a set not that long ago with the 2 Gammas from the new movie. But they were like the only movie characters that they released in the set, so you know, they didn't really do what they did with like the Broly movie.
No.
That was kind of disappointing, but, you know. Yeah, there's not much, you know.
Not much, but disappointment, I presume.
Yeah, well, you know, the game is always fun, but it's never been about that. You know.
All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna go off now from having fun, and we're gonna get a bit serious this time. All right, now it's time for the main event of the episode, and we saved this for last. I was gonna talk about this on my own, like I said, but now that I have Gio on the call, we're gonna have a big talk about this. And folks, this is a serious episode about it. So I want you all to listen up. As you probably already know, this by the time this episode is released, you've already talked about it, but to us, it actually impacts a lot of us because this was something that got us all here. So for those who may have not known, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, Mr. Kazuki Takahashi, sadly passed away at the age of 60 on Wednesday, July 6th at 10:30 a.m. This was a huge news, and it's actually affected everywhere in the entire world. And many people pay tribute to him by changing their profile pictures to their favorite trading cards. And I have here some information about the passing. So I looked up here. It says here that the body of his was found Wednesday floating about 300 meters off the coast of Okinawa by a person running a marine leisure business, according to an official at the Naha Coast Guard in Nago Station. The Coast Guard and the fire department went by boat and watercraft and found the body face down and wearing a snorkeling mask. He may have been dead for a day or two, according to the Coast Guard official, who spoke on condition of anonymity because their job did not allow them to be quoted by name. The body showed signs of being attacked by a marine creature, possibly sharks, but the cause of death was still under investigation, as the official said. Takahashi was identified after police in another part of Okinawa contacted the Coast Guard Thursday saying a rented card had been found abandoned on a beach. The card had a driver's license confirming the identity. Takahashi's real first name was Kazu, which is K-A-Z-U-O, Kazu. His family was contacted and identified him, the Coast Guard official said. YuGiOh, debuting in Shonen Jump magazine in 1996, became a hit, selling more than 40 million copies as manga, although the number of cards out in the world is far greater in the billions. So, they do explain it. The morning was all over social media. Eric Stewart, the American actor who did the animation voiceover, said he was very saddened by the news. He said, "An amazingly talented man. Sensei created a role that would help define my voice acting career," Stewart said on Twitter using the Japanese word for teacher. Fans around the world posted their cards and manga images online. Some noted that was how they had become interested in Japan. People recalled how the cards helped them make their first friends. So, yeah, everything in the whole world, we have a lot of information here, but yeah, this was the saddest thing ever, guys. We've lost the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! And officially, there's nothing else we can do. I don't know if the series is going to continue, in my opinion, because there's always different mangas that was worked by him. I mean, we know Yu-Gi-Oh! May have not lasted long, but I feel like at the same time, I don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, the card game is not going to be much affected, but the mangas, the animes, I mean, that's a different toll, and they're going to be mourned by this. So it's going to be very, very, sad that everything has been really affected to everybody. But Gio, what's your thoughts about the tragedy of Takahashi-san?
Well, I think you put it in a very good way. Some of my best friends now and really good friends in my life right now currently are from playing that game, ironically. I had to sit back and think, which is why I said, let me record my response, record with you. Like you and Noel, Christian, Moses, all the Tori, a lot of, I consider you all really close, personal friends of mine, and if I wouldn't have gone back to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, I had stopped playing all card games, I would have never met any of y'all. You're all still in my life. Especially you and Noel. you too a lot because we've all stayed in touch. I mean, I see Christian and Moses here and there, and Tori, he's MIA most of the time. But you get my point. Like, you made the club, we made it our home, and it's really interesting because I've had many people come in and out of my life. But if it wasn't for the card game, I wouldn't have really close personal friends that I talk to, on a daily basis or on every other day basis, And I think people should appreciate the fact, even if they don't play the game anymore, just the relationships that they've made due to the anime or the card game itself, because it's just bigger than ourselves. And I took a look and a step back, and it's just like realizing that as soon as I said I was going to do this one. Those were my first immediate thoughts.
Yeah, like we all started the anime back when it came out around 2002, I presume. And I remember watching this, and the biggest hype in the whole community of the world was both Pokemon and YuGiOh. And YuGiOh did change the card game faction for the whole world. Like like Magic basically was the beginning of it. Pokemon got popularized for the collections, but it was YuGiOh that truly saw the outcomes of what duels are. And with the assist of the anime, it helped us open our minds, our imaginations, and of course, most importantly, our parents' wallets, to basically show how much we really do love the game and how much we put a lot of effort to the game. Like I've always wanted to make a deck, but I never got to properly buy all the cards as a kid, so I just bought like the starter decks. Yeah, but they were awesome to collect as well because I love having them. I really enjoy seeing all these new archetype cards. Some of them in the original anime were just there for the fun and nostalgia of the story, but the other animes just show like the newer cards that changed up the game. Like GX, they had the elemental heroes, they had like new card effects that could change around. They had cyber dragons that were just showing that you could do more than just do regular normal summons. You could special summon while you have no monsters. You got your GBs with contact fusions. You got your light swarms that were, milling. They were doing so much creativity in all of the stuff that we never got to basically do before, and the game started changing up and up. Although later by later, it did have effect to such player base because some players didn't like the new ideas of how the game went a bit faster. They didn't like how these newer cards were taking over. Some people stayed behind with the original cards. Some of them were just like, yeah, I don't like this, I prefer the original, and they just like quit and moved on with their lives. That happens, but like when you get back to it, you rewatch the anime, you do it over and over, and I've actually enjoyed what we did because it was basically the best time I've ever had. I probably was in more straight way to the YuGiOh game to me was when I was in summer school. And one day I'm just sitting and we're in the cafeteria because we only get like about half hour of lunch or 15 minutes of lunch, whatever, and then we just go home. And I saw these two kids that were playing YuGiOh, and it was pretty cool. One of them had a Batteryman deck. I was very interested, and you know what? I was so interested in seeing that stuff. I was getting nostalgia. I want to play YuGiOh with them. So I saw they had, this was during 5Ds, so they had the YuGiOh Yusei 10. That's the one that comes with the montage dragon. And I purchased that, and then I got to make a deck with all the packs it had, so I got more creative. I found more cards. I was just playing for fun. Although, the sad part is I followed the actual original anime rules, where it was like the bullshit games, where you play Food Summon Dragons. Oh, I summon my red eyes from my deck. Oh, you activate polymerization. I activate during your turn. It's like the bullshit rules, but they told me that's not how it works. And even when you play the video games, they tell the rules way better than we did.
I can believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically I had to get a little bit better, of course. So by 8th grade, 1 week after I had a broken arm, I actually went to the Avalon manga shop. This doesn't exist anymore, folks. This was in Cutler Ridge. Went out of business because of rent, and I went. My mom drove me like 30 minutes from our house from there, and then she has to drive 30 minutes back home, and then come back 30 minutes later, and then 30 minutes back home. So it's like you gotta spend like about an hour of coming here and then coming there, and another hour coming in there. But I was there for hours, chilling, and you probably believe like it was a great time because guess who was my first YuGiOh friend I ever made? Thanks to the Avalon Manga Shop.
I'm gonna say Stevie, but are you gonna tell me no?
No.
I figured that.
It was our dear friend Toma.
I figured that's what you were gonna say.
Yeah, because Toma lives in Cutler Ridge. One of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. One guy who can never get too angry. Very funny to be with. So meeting Toma was great, and then I had to learn more of these tournaments because I was playing band cards. I did not know what was going on. So yes, I was 100% a damn noob. But that's fine because you know what? It took me weeks. It took me a while to learn and play the game. And by the time I was being a freshman in high school, there was a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players. They were very pro. I got to meet. You remember Kevin, right? You know Kevin with the glasses who plays different card games.
Oh yeah. Kevin V.
Kevin V. I was wondering what his name was. So Kevin V went to my school together. So he was a junior, I was a freshman. There was my friends Jordan and everything. We all got to do card games together. Some of us were the same grade. The rest were like 2 years ahead or seniors. And every morning we always go to this bench and we play card games, and then we'd just be under the stairs and we just play card games and trades and sells. We've had a really good time. It took me a while to get better. By the time around sophomore year, I think I got a lot better. And I still went to the manga shop for a while, but I stopped going. So my mom says we can't keep doing this forever because gotta save money. So I no longer went there, and then later on the store went closed. So then my friends told me to go to the Rock Game Shop. It was actually the closest one. So the Rock Game Shop at 117 in Sunset was driving there was like less than 10 minutes, so it was easier for me to get in and easier to get out to save my mom gas. I got to see some old friends. I got to play with tournaments, made more trades, made a couple friends. But then like later on, after my finished high school and everything, all my friends were gone. It's been a year. I'm depressed. All I had was left was card games. So I still did card games, and who didn't know it? Toma made a group page, and I actually got at it. And then one guy said, "Who wants to do on Dueling Note?" Because this is when Dueling Note was still around. You want to guess who this guy was this time?
Was this Eric? Ramon?
No, it was Stevie.
Damn. Yeah.
So we meet Stevie, we play along, we see each other face to face. We got to be good friends. I met him in the game shop. He wasn't like you guys were met the way he was. He was just normal, just being himself. We got along well, and I later did more of the YouTube stuff. So I did all the deck profiles, I did all the deco reviews, the ban list talks, the openings. I did a lot of those. But maybe we hoping we could do that for all the games. I would love to, if I have the time. And
of course.
And a better camera. And
but anyway, that's not the point. Keep going.
No, the main point is it's Stevie. And when you build one friend from one game, from one friend to another game, whatever, it builds and build and build. So then I got Eric, Wellington, Ernesto, Leo, then later Giovanni, Noel, Adrian, and then some old friends from high school came back, and then we built.
It's funny because I see Leo working at the FIU dining hall when I was there.
Exactly. We built it, and then like Gio said, we made the card game because remember what I said, guys, like why Yu-Gi-Oh impacted a lot of us. Well, look what it did. It built friends, bonding like they did in the original. We traded, we had fun, we made asses of ourselves, but that's what we usually did. And would you know it later made the TCG Party Club. And when we made the club, we made it special for our friends. It only lasted one semester, sadly, but it was the best semester time I've ever had. Even though I wasn't doing well in one class, I was still having fun and putting a lot of effort to that club. YuGiOh here was my treasurer, Stevie was my vice president. It would also be Stevie's only time to be, because by that semester, Stevie would graduate to get his associates and move to FIU. So we've all got to be together. We met Tori. We had Eric come over all the time. We like we said, we put a lot of effort to that club. After that, the club was disbanded, and then we just moved on. Later that year, I quit YuGiOh. YuGiOh stayed for a while, and so Noel, but then they left, and they joined me to stay in DBS. And then I left DBS, and then I'm in Pokemon. So.
And yeah, you know, I mean, I have my DBS stuff, but there's no locals for it, so you know, I just play more Digimon and My Hero these days. I mean, I can play Pokemon too. That was the game I started with way back. But...
Yeah, and that was also it. The Rock Game Show went out of business because Pro Play Games and Cool Stuff was made. They were out, and then PBG and CSG were still here.
Yeah, but we do have a new store. I think it's called Collector's Edge near the falls that they do Pokemon tournaments and people go. So I mean,
yeah, the Collector's Club is what you meant.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I googled the name the other day. Well, it doesn't matter, but you get my point.
Well, it does matter. It affects their business. Where are they going to find the Collector's Edge? It's going to confuse a lot of promotions.
So, you know, I mean, it's interesting that SuperCon got more people playing Pokemon than we do get for locals at any of the stores.
Oh, so, yeah, because Pokemon is over. Way over. But we've already done Pokemon talk, we've done Magic talk, it's YuGiOh talk. So basically, guys, and the moral of the story here is, thank you Takahashi for, you know, everything, because he did everything to entertain us with the anime, to letting us buy the cards, but to more importantly building a bond of friendship that we actually got to meet with all the trades and then all the duels and everything, you know, putting our imagination to in place. And you know, it also brought in a lot of great people too, like the famous Yugi tubers, Galactic God, Cyber Knight, M Cole 40, Your YuGiOh channel, CMO, TMAPS. You know, the list just goes on and on. You know, even though they're not there anymore, it's like half of them are retired, half of them quit the game for real, half of them are still going. And then you also get like these YuGiOh creative videos that people put a lot of effort in these, you know, these duels and the editings, and it's just so great. It doesn't matter like where you watch it from, because some people do it from other countries, but it's still a lot of fun watching. And it's always great to go back in time and just rewatch it so you feel like you want to play. Nowadays you just play the video games. Some of them still play cards like Christian and Stevie, but you know, I'm so happy that, you know, everything we worked hard. And again, this is all thanks to Takahashi-san. So Takahashi, we want to say thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts here on the TCG Party Podcast, and for every person that you made YuGiOh their happiest child moment, you know, at all, because without you, we all wouldn't be here close. Even playing other card games, this game is what led us closer. So again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much, and I hope you rest in peace.
Yeah, I fully concur with that.
Okay. So, I guess that's pretty much going to wrap up everything, folks. So this was the episode here. This is the Takahashi tribute. I want to thank YuGiOh for coming in late for today's episode.
Coming in blazing. You're welcome, Kevin.
Yes, that's right. Don't forget to go ahead and join in and sign up your Digimon pre-releases, which will be coming out next Friday on the 15th. So don't forget to go ahead, get your signups, get your free cards afterward. Well, not really free, you gotta pay for it. But yeah, you get your cards, probably like your promo cards at least, and enjoy that. Go ahead and make your tributes, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, what was your favorite YuGiOh moment ever in a tournament, in the animes, or your experiences when you're playing the card game or still playing the card game. We want to hear you. We would like to hear your feedback about it, and leave a little huge RIPs for Takahashi-san, who put all his effort and everything, you know. And DW Gaming, don't forget to check them out so you can get your decent prices, everything. And please do check out Matt Burns' creation. These folks are working real hard to make this community. So again, links will be in the description below for all the information we spoke here in the podcast. I hope you all have a great week, have a good time. I hope you guys also had a great 4th of July a week ago. Hope you all wish me a happy birthday. Yes, I'm going to say it because I can. Because I am, woo, a man. So anyway, guys, this is goodbye from Giovanni.
Alrighty, see you next week.
And this is a goodbye from Fortress Striker, and we'll hope to see you all later. This is Fortress Striker, signing off.
It's time to duel!